Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're diving straight into something totally fascinating, the moon in the eighth house. We're going to see how this specific astrological placement completely transforms the idea of inheritance from just a dry legal transaction into a profoundly deep psychological experience. I mean, it really challenges the very core of how we view the things left behind for us. Let's get right into it. So let me ask you, is inheritance strictly a financial event? Naturally, we tend to picture the lawyers, the tax forms, the bottom lines, property deeds changing hands. But today's explainer asks us to look completely beyond the paperwork. For some individuals, a fight over a sentimental teapot or an old piece of jewelry is significantly heavier than dividing up a massive stock portfolio. The numbers on a page, well, they're really just a tiny fraction of the actual story. Let's actually define our terms here based on the text. The moon in the eighth house placement basically creates this deep emotional connection to family financial matters. It acts like a powerful bridge between money and memory. So we're looking at an emotional sensitivity that is fundamentally linked to shared resources and ancestral legacy. It's this really complex blend of security, memory, and vulnerability, all wrapped up into one package. When we look at the traditional view of inheritance, it's entirely clinical, right? Just legal and financial transactions. Very straightforward. But the eighth house moon view completely flips the script on that. We step right out of the boardroom and directly into the realm of deep emotional vulnerability. It becomes all about memory and emotional security, fundamentally changing the lens through which we view family wealth.
Section 1. Wealth, Memory, and Emotion. The internal connection.
You see, receiving an inheritance isn't just a simple transfer of funds. It's actually a major emotional trigger. Imagine walking through an ancestral home. For someone with this placement, those walls literally hold memories. An inheritance event is going to inevitably bring either profound comfort or intense emotional heaviness, depending entirely on the circumstances. It actively sparks nostalgic reflection and creates incredibly strong attachments to those physical assets. And here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. Family property matters feel deeply personal, even from the sidelines. Even if this person isn't the one signing the paperwork or making the executive decisions to sell an estate, they still absorb the emotional weight of these matters as if it were intensely and uniquely their own. It becomes a totally internalized experience.
Moving on to Section 2. Shared Finances and Security. Navigating Interpersonal Dynamics.
It's wild how directly external financial events map right onto someone's internal sense of safety. If there is support from family wealth, the direct result is a really strong sense of emotional safety. But what happens if the condition of those shared finances becomes unstable? Well, you immediately see fluctuating emotional stability in the individual. Their inner emotional world and the outer world of shared assets are just incredibly tightly linked. In fact, a massive chunk of their emotional stability relies heavily on those shared resources. It's not just about what they earn independently. The condition of shared family finances completely dominates their emotional landscape compared to independent factors. Their baseline of feeling okay in the world is deeply, deeply tethered to the collective financial health of their family.
Ultimately, for these individuals, true financial security is virtually indistinguishable from family support. You really just cannot separate the two. When they're supported by shared resources, they feel emotionally anchored. But when that support is threatened in any way whatsoever, the entire emotional foundation shakes.
Section 3. Bearing the emotional burden, the crucible of family tension. Because their emotional baseline is so tied to family harmony, disputes over inheritance turn into remarkably heavy burdens. They don't just witness the conflict objectively. No, they absorb that tension in real time. This causes immense psychological stress and sensitivity as they process the friction within the family. It's honestly exhausting. They literally become an emotional sponge during these discussions. While other family members might be focused purely on the legal or the financial outcomes, this individual is left carrying the heavy mantle, attempting to navigate and absorb the underlying interpersonal dynamics of the entire group. The psychological responsibility just naturally, almost inevitably, falls right onto their shoulders. In our final section, the true ancestral legacy beyond the bank account. There's a quote from the source text that absolutely hits the nail on the head. Inheritance is not just a financial event, but an emotional experience. It's never just about dollars and cents, is it? It's about memory, emotional safety, and a profound psychological weight. So I'll leave you with this to ponder. When you look at your own life, what are you truly inheriting from your ancestors? Is it just property and bank accounts? Or is it a complex web of emotional attachments, memories, and responsibilities? Really think about the emotional weight of exactly what is passed down to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today.